He falsified police reports and payroll records by serving as both a sheriff's deputy and a police officer.
Instead of being fired and criminally charged, the I-Team's Eric Ross discovered the officer was allowed to quietly resign. Eric.
Good evening. The district attorney admitted Matthew Thompson misused his power and got paid for hours he did not work. Even Thompson's own attorney doesn't dispute those findings. Both of Thompson's employers agree he violated the rules. In the end, Thompson was able to walk away without facing charges. This is Matthew Thompson in his Waukesha Sheriff's Department uniform. During his employment with the county, we learned he was also wearing another police uniform for the Village of Eagle. Time card records obtained by the I-Team found multiple discrepancies, placing Thompson on duty at both jobs at the same time.
In this particular case, though, we found that there were integrity issues.
On June 13th, Thompson clocked into the Waukesha County Sheriff's Department at 10:45 p.m., but log sheets show he was working for the Village of Eagle until 11 p.m. that night. On September 8th, Thompson claimed he worked at the Village of Eagle until 3:45 p.m., when in fact his shift was complete an hour earlier.
Not only were the documents not accurate, but some of the follow-up investigation that we conducted led us to learn that the employee wasn't being truthful in other documents.
An investigation launched by the Sheriff's Department last year found Thompson falsified police reports, official activity log sheets, as well as written reports summarizing conversations with supervisors. Thompson lied about sleeping on the job, and a search of his patrol cruiser found oxycodone pills inside a bottle labeled for over-the-counter pain medication. Thompson could have faced 13 counts of official misconduct, 9 counts of theft for altered payroll records, and possession of a controlled substance. The DA's review of the investigation validated all but the possession of a controlled substance charge. But instead of being fired and charged, he was ultimately allowed to resign from both agencies. When a deputy is caught falsifying documents, why not fire them? Why allow them to resign?
I don't have, as sheriff, the authority to fire a deputy sheriff outright.
According to the sheriff, the department has to go through a special grievance committee made up of citizens who ultimately decide whether to approve firing an officer, and that process could take months, leaving Thompson on the payroll.
So if I have a situation where I have every intention of terminating the deputy and I can obtain a resignation from the deputy, I'm saving the taxpayer potentially tens of thousands of dollars.
We asked the Village of Eagle board president whether he would have sought termination had Thompson not resigned.
If he was still an officer here, I would guess that the board would say, yes, we will investigate this and take appropriate action.
In a letter obtained by the I-Team, the district attorney declined to prosecute, citing prosecutorial discretion and limited resources. We went to Thompson's home for comment. He referred us to his attorney, who said the matter is resolved and his client is seeking new opportunities outside of law enforcement.
And when I have employees that don't perform to an acceptable standard, we're going to hold them accountable.
Thompson has also surrendered his law enforcement certification, which means he will no longer be allowed to work at any other law enforcement agency. We found roughly $200 in payroll theft, which he did pay back, but the sheriff says the issue so much isn't about the money, rather the fact that he lied to his superiors and falsified reports.
Okay, here's the question. If anybody else did this, falsified payroll records, time card records, falsified any record at work, they could be fired. Why is it so hard to get rid of a deputy?
Good question. The sheriff literally spent over an hour explaining all of these processes. You know, here's the deal. We walk you through the process on our website, but ultimately Waukesha County and the Village of Eagle agree allowing Thompson to resign saves taxpayer money, and with that there's no risk the deputy suing or filing an appeal for wrongful termination had he been let go. And that's the key here, because had he been terminated and he appeals that decision, he'd basically, he'd be paid for 6 months, potentially even a year, and had he sued for wrongful termination, well, then you have to defend a lawsuit.
That keeps going on, and there's more money, so.
Lose-lose situation really in either aspect of it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.